Kim, what is our fourth main topic today?
All right, this comes from James Argenta. Ghostbusters Afterlife won the box office this weekend with $44 million opening weekend. While the win was not a surprise, during COVID-19, the film managed to make only $2 million less than the opening weekend of the 2016 Ghostbusters at $46 million with half the budget. $144 million versus $75 million. With kids off of school next week, what do you think Ghostbusters Afterlife can have at the box office run like Free Guy and remain in the top 10 for weeks to come?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, listen, we've been talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife for, it feels like a couple of months now, because again, when Aaron Cummings and I were at CinemaCon in Las Vegas, they surprised us. Like, we knew there was a Ghostbusters Afterlife presentation, and sure enough, Ivan Reitman and his son Jason Reitman, who directed this one, came out on stage and we're talking about it and blah, blah, blah. And then they shocked us when they said, oh, by the way, we're going to show you the whole movie now. And we're all like, what? Really? And sure enough, they showed us the whole movie of Ghostbusters Afterlife. And we loved it. Aaron loved it even more than me. Like, I wish Aaron could be here right now. And by the way, all of us here at the John Campea Show send all of our happiest thoughts and celebration to both Aaron and her husband, Tom, for their arrival of little baby Degnan, her husband, Tom Degnan. And they just, so I won't tell you the name of the baby. I'll wait for Aaron to announce the name of the baby. But, so I won't tell you their name.
So
but
exciting.
Just so happy for them. Oh my God. Aaron sent me some video. I'll show it to you. I'll show you the video after we're done the show today.
Oh
But
my gosh, I'm going to cry just thinking about it. I'm so excited for her.
He's beautiful.
Oh.
Anyway, back to the main thing. And I'll let Aaron tell you the name later. But so Aaron and I watched this, totally floored by it. I had a great time with it. I wasn't so huge on the third act. Or no, the end of the third act. I wasn't super feeling the end of the third act, but other than that, it's a fun, joyous movie, all the right amount of homage to the original Ghostbusters without just being a big homage fest. And I thought it worked. And now we talked last week about the fact that the box office projections were kind of low. Like, Sony was even forecasting that they thought it was going to make between like 25 and 28 million opening weekend. And listen, I've said for a long time, this Ghostbusters Afterlife is not going to make 200 million opening weekend. This isn't going to be $1 billion film. It's a little too late. This should have been moved on earlier. It doesn't have as much nostalgia factor as a lot of people think. But still, this kind of thing did still come out. And while it didn't come anywhere near $200 million, it exceeded both Sony's expectations and the industry's expectations, making $44 million. All right, this comes to us from the folks over at Variety, who write the following. Directed by Jason Reitman, who is an incredible director. The latest installment of the Supernatural series is shaping up to be a win for the studio after it failed to revive the franchise years earlier. It should be noted that Sony's 2016 all-female reboot of Ghostbusters premiered to $46 million on its opening weekend. And that's only $2 million more than Afterlife just did. However, that film, the older one, cost $144 million to make, compared to just a modest budget of $75 million price tag for this movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, making it a box office dud. That's the last one being a box office dud. So this movie does basically the same amount of business as the last one did, except this one cost, at least on an opening weekend, this one cost half the amount almost, which is great. Paul Rudd is fantastic in this.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny.
I've already reviewed this movie a couple times, so I won't do the review again. Does this movie have the chance to have the kind of legs that Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy did? Because remember, Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy, which, by the way, is awesome. You need to watch that movie. But it got such good word of mouth that it just hung around the top 5 week after week after week after week. And people just kept going to see it and picking up on it. I think Ghostbusters Afterlife has that kind of potential. Because next weekend, I always forget. I'm not American, so you have to forgive me. But I believe this coming weekend is American Thanksgiving,
That's
right?
correct, yes.
It's not Thanksgiving. It's American Thanksgiving.
Okay, we'll return to that.
Real Thanksgiving, it's in October. But at any rate, so American Thanksgiving is this weekend. Always a big movie-going weekend. And I think the strategy of releasing it now, we talked about this a little bit last week, of releasing this now, knowing it's going to get positive word of mouth and positive buzz. And the audience seems to really enjoy it. I think that will carry over into a big family weekend like Thanksgiving, And I think, look, because I also think next weekend is Encanto. So that's going to be a big family draw as well. But I still think you're going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife have some pretty good legs. I'm not saying it's going to have the same amount of success that Free Guy did. I still think there's a number of things working against Ghostbusters, including this movie's coming a bit too late. It's got the negative baggage of the 2016 Ghostbusters, which I don't think is as bad. It's not great, but I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be. But still, that movie left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Yeah, and of course, Sony decided last minute. Look, one of the things I really try to avoid telling people about coming out of the movie was that, oh yeah, Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd all show up at the end of the movie. I didn't want to reveal that. But then Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and Bill Murray started to do it. Sony started sending them out on the talk circuit thing to talk about being in this movie. So it's like, oh, okay. So they're giving away. By the way, Ray, just another bit of evidence. Sony waiting till the last minute to reveal the big appearances in it, like Bill Murray. That's just what they're going to do with Spider-Man come November 29th. Start getting suited up. Start getting ready for that suit, brother. All right, anyway.
I need to work out.
So yeah, that's, by the way, as a side note, I think another little bit of, representative evidence, I will call it that Sony waiting till the last minute to reveal Bill Murray and everything's in the movie. I think they're going to do that with the Spider-Man one as well, but we'll find out soon enough. That being said, all that in there, I think, has led to it to have a better than expected opening. I think it will have good legs moving into its second weekend, even though it's going to have some stiff competition. It's going to have stiff competition, but I still think it's going to do pretty well. I think you're going to look at about a 50% drop. I don't think it's going to hit 60. I think it'll stay right around a 50% drop, which is a very, very healthy drop. So I think that's going to be really good for them, and we'll see how it goes. And guys, if you haven't seen this thing yet, do check it out. It's not as good as the original Ghostbusters, but it's fun. It's delightful. I think you're going to enjoy it. Jump over there and check it out. But for those of you guys who have seen it, what did you think about the new Ghostbusters? Did you like it as much as me? Maybe not as much. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts.